Good morning, everybody. Someone left a comment on one of my recent videos where they complained that I wasn't cursing enough. And, they were right. Because the name of my website and of my YouTube channel is Steve Likes to Curse. So if I'm not at least making an effort to swear, isn't that fraudulent? The following calls are taken from editions of Mail Call, printed in the Herald-Mail from August 8th through August 19th, 2011, which can be viewed online in their entirety at www.herald-mail.com. Fuck. First up, from the town where I grew up, Clear Spring. Me and my husband just moved to the town of Clear Spring, Maryland. Could someone tell me about what all these sirens at the fire hall going off mean? They scare me terribly. One long siren, then there is a sixth siren going off. What do these goings off mean? Every time a family member leaves my house and the siren goes off, I get sick on my stomach. I now have a nervous stomach. I have never heard sirens like this in any place I have ever lived. What do they mean? It's the fire siren. I used to hear that thing all the time. In fact, my dog used to howl at it whenever it would go off. It's just something you have to get used to. Just give yourself a couple of weeks and eventually it won't bother you anymore, although of course you'll still notice it. But it's nothing to worry about. It's just the fire siren. It has nothing to do with you. The alarms that are triggered when your family leaves your house are silent. Cunt. Concerning the article in the paper, To Toss Out the Tea Party by Kathleen Parker, when you're spending $300 billion a month and we are borrowing $120 billion of that, that is almost 43 cents out of every dollar. I thank God for people who are willing to stop spending and see where we can save. And I believe also that our founders, if she would check when she made light about people praying to Jesus, I believe she will find out that our founders did a lot of praying before they made decisions. So thank God for America, and thank God for In God We Trust. Boonesboro. If you thought our founders consulted sheep livers and chicken guts before making important decisions, would you have a problem with people making light of that? And thank God for In God We Trust? It was his idea? What, was he floating around Congress in 1956, the year that motto was officially adopted, sneaking up behind congressmen going, "Make sure you put me in the motto"? Asshole. Concerning the illegals and their school tuition, if they're illegal, send them back where they came from. Williamsport. Why don't we send them to Texas, where illegal immigrants are also eligible for in-state tuition? That way everybody's happy. Bitch. I absolutely cannot understand my wife. I held the door open at church for an older lady with a walker Sunday, and she thought I was an absolute saint. Well, the same day at McDonald's, I got up and opened the door for a lady who looked like she was about 23, 24 years old, and I heard about that for hours. I can't understand the double standard we've got going here. Sharpsburg. Bitch! That's directed at you, Williamsport, not your wife. You seriously don't see why she would have a problem with you getting up from the table during a meal with her in public and opening the door for, and I'm making some wild assumptions here, a 23-year-old hottie? How are you such a stupid bitch? You know what I don't understand? How can this country elect someone who was a community organizer, especially in Chicago, and he was a senator for 2 years, become president of the U.S.? Look at the situation we're in now. Williamsport. More of us who voted thought that he would do a better job than the other guy. Do I really need to explain how American elections work? You know what I don't understand? Why so many people seem to think that being a community organizer is a disqualification for the office. Bell end. That's British for dickhead. Debt ceiling debates. Did you ever hear even a whisper from the House, Senate, or White House that they should contribute and sacrifice some of their expensive benefits and pay? No, and you won't either. It was an eye-opener to learn how much money is actually taken in by our government each month. If each of them voluntarily took a 10% pay cut and a 25% cut to their personal expense accounts, they would convince me that they are serious about the budget. Hagerstown. A pointless symbolic gesture would convince you that Congress and the White House are serious about the budget. Dumbass. I like this. There's an efficiency to this. I just wanted to say thanks so much for throwing your trash out on Jordan Road. If you want a free dump, don't use our road. We have your name, and clue, you live on Virginia Avenue. But here's a tip. Times are tough. Times are hard. Take your trash and properly discard. Preferably not in our yard. Fair play. Oh, perfect. In the episode where I'm going out of my way to curse, I now have an excuse to bust a dirty limerick. Let's see if I can do any better than rhyming hard with discard and yard. I think that it's crap and a crock that you dump all your junk on our block. From now on you are barred from trashing my yard. And oh, by the way, suck my cock. Some of the liberal news media says that the Tea Party members are holding our country hostage. Some say they're terrorists. But my question is to every one of you who does not agree with them, what's wrong with balancing the budget and paying your bills? Some of you even say you're not very smart, but since I think you pay your bills, you're pretty smart. Now, who are they going to blame? The Tea Party and still call them names? Or they look around and say, you know, they might be a little smarter than what we think they are? Boonesboro. There's nothing wrong with balancing the budget and paying your bills. I'm not really a fan of the whole government as a household analogy, but whatever, let's just go with it for now. Let's just say the government is our household, okay? And we're spending more money than we're bringing in, so we have to borrow to make up the difference. And now we have to cut spending. So do we cut spending the way President Obama and most of the Democrats in Congress suggest we do it? By, say, not buying a new fur coat and Cadillac every couple of hours? And also maybe jacking up the rent on the rich guys who live upstairs so that if we have to make deeper cuts in the future, we don't have to take it out of the food budget. And by the way, I know that rent and taxes are not exactly the same. I told you that it was a stupid metaphor. Or do we do it the way the Republicans suggest we do it and pull the kids out of school and force them to get jobs and take our parents out of the nursing home and abandon them to die on a hill? That last part might not be a metaphor. Apparently, legalizing gay marriage isn't Governor O'Malley's only priority. He just appointed a huge new commission to help create infrastructure. No, not for the entire state. Electric cars, which are currently selling like stink bug flavored ice cream, and the state will install at least 78 charging stations by summer's end. I, and probably many others, can probably think of at least 20 more urgent and generally beneficial uses, like fixing our crumbling roads for that money. And in all the propaganda disguised as articles I've read on electric cars, the benefit they all touted was that you could just plug them into your home electrical outlets. Frederick, Maryland. And if you had a 10,000-gallon tank at your house, you could plug the car you drive now in at home too, and then we wouldn't need all these gas stations around. Unless, ass. Oh, and I forgot to swear on the last one too, so God damn it. We never had our parents help us with our homework ever, and we made almost all A's. The teacher explained to me, not my parents, what to do for homework, and we did it. If today's kids do not understand what to do, they should ask the teacher to explain it better. Our teacher had 40 and almost 50 sometimes in a class, and she taught. Our principal removed a disruptive child, and they learned from a special teacher. Why can't the principal or vice principal help this discipline problem today? Williamsport. You never had your parents help you with your homework. Never. Not one child from your generation ever asked their parents for help with homework. This is an entirely brand new, unprecedented request. Or are you just talking about you and your family, and you figure that since you never had to ask your mom and dad for help with schoolwork, neither should anyone else? You're an ignorant asshole either way, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, I think I used asshole already, didn't I? For God, you know. Now, it doesn't matter, Williamsport, you're still a fucking ignorant asshole. I see old John Boehner did it again. He's getting rid of an institution down in Congress, the Page program. Said he's going to save $5 million a year. A whole $5 million. Wow, John, you're supposed to save jobs, not eliminate them. Yet he won't tax his rich buddies, where you'd get probably $600 billion in tax revenue, but he'll get rid of the Page program, which has been around for 175 years. John, I've asked this before, but you're supposed to create jobs, not get rid of them. John, where's the jobs? Hagerstown. Hey, those are government jobs he's getting rid of, buddy. That's the problem with this country, too many government jobs. What bank will even cash a government check anyway? President Obama is blaming the Tea Party, which is 14% of the American population, on the downgrade from AAA to AA. Obama, face responsibilities. It's your fault. And Bush had some problems, to do with it too. Funkstown. So it's mostly Obama's fault, but if I want to spread some of the blame around, I can lay some of it on the guy who was president 3 years ago, but the one group that is absolutely 100% exempt from all blame in this matter is the Tea Party, whose representatives created the congressional deadlock, which led to the debt ceiling crisis, which led to the credit downgrade. Gotcha. And it's AA plus, okay? Not double A. Get it right, for Christ's sweet cocksucking sake. And fucking finally from Hagerstown. This failed administration must stop using class warfare to promote their agenda and make excuses for their failures. It's irresponsible because these toxic talking points could lead us into civil unrest like England is experiencing. Tone down the inflammatory rhetoric or you will be looking for someone to blame for its outcome. Yeah, President Obama, stop trying to inflame the poor and the middle class by reminding them how utterly fucked they are thanks to the super wealthy. What are you trying to accomplish, anyway? Thanks for watching. Motherfucker!